Guys, let me just make this a little bit bigger. Whoa, there we go. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. It's because usually my family is in the room, but yeah. This is the footage I'm going to be using. I'm going to go ahead and take out the audio here by just hitting this button right here. It's the audio tool. You just hit it and it'll mute it. So now you can't hear anything. Cool. So first of all, if this green screen doesn't look that good, it might be because, and by the way, if you want to change to the hand tool, you can hit H and it'll switch to it, and then V that to go back to this. Oop, fancy. Or you can just hold down spacebar and it'll do that. That's what I usually do. Now you can hold down Alt and then drag to a certain spot, and there we go. But do you see this right here? It's because of my camera. So if the green screen doesn't look good, it's not because of my lighting. It's because of the camera. So yeah, let's get started here. I see that we have a dark spot here. Whoa. Dark spot here and a dark spot here. So what I'm going to do is mask those out. So I'm going to draw around this part here, like that. And then I'm going to take this mask and I'm going to hit MM, and I'll bring up these controls right here. Now we can bring up the feather a little bit. We don't really need to do that, but I'll just put it at 4 for the heck of it. And then now we just need to go to this here, and if we hit invert, it'll work, but it's better if we just put subtract, which does the same thing, but now we can add multiple masks. So now you see this over here? This is another dark spot. So let's draw around that, and we will set it to subtract. There we go. So now if I close out of this, you can see that we're going to make sure that I do not go in front of that, and I don't. Look at that face. Yeah. Oop, whoa. Fail. But yeah, we do not cross in front of it, which is good. I almost do at the end here, right here. But that's alright, I'm going to change back to my normal tool. Now, ignore the screen for a demo on the screen. I'm going to get rid of most of it, but yeah. Now, we need to choose, we're going to select the footage, choose Effect, Keying, Key Light 1.2 for me. You might have just plain Key Light. I've written After Effects CS 5.5, which is like the professional version of CS 5. Now, you can see this looks absolutely terrible if I go to this, so you can see the alpha channel by hitting this little button right here. You can see that we have all of this, and that's not good. Now, we can try to adjust it in the final result right here. So, like, we can do that, and then bring up the clip, and then bring down this. But we don't end up with something that looks good, as you can see here. What I like to do is I'm going to reset all the settings. And now I'm going to select the color. I'm going to go to the screen matte here. And now I can see where I am. I want everything I want in the shot to be pure white. So this is not good, because you can see how it's kind of like this. This is also not good because we want this to be black. If it's black, it's not going to be there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the clip black. There we go. Bring down the clip white. And then we're going to add some softness. And now if we go over to the final result, it looks really good, but not perfect. So we're going to actually adjust it. And what the final result does is it actually takes out all of spell suppression. And you might be able to get this to look better, like if I go into the motion part, by changing this color around. See that? Like if I go really green, you can see the green around it. Like we can do the replace color as more of a white, depending on our background. But if I go to the intermediate result, it's going to ignore this replace color method, and just ignore spill suppression. So now if we zoom in here, we see green. Now there's an easy fix for this, but now if you look at this, it looks a whole lot better. And whenever you see this breaking up, it is just my camera. This should work for you if you have a good Canon or a good Sony something. I'm using a Panasonic, which mine isn't that great, but yeah. So you can see right here that it looks a whole lot better than the final result. Now you might say, well, it kind of looks the same. Yeah, but look how sharp these edges are. If I turn off this blur, that just doesn't look good. So I'm gonna Grand Z that. Animator it just works better. And now we have that green. We want to get rid of the green. That's what we're gonna do. So we're going to go to Effect, Color Correction, and then we're gonna go to this Hue and Saturation. Now here's the thing. With the hue and saturation, it's usually used to bring down all the saturation to go to black and white, or bring up the saturation, I'm going to leave that at 0, or bring down the lightness or up. I'm going to reset this. But what I can do is I can actually apply this only to a certain color. So on here I have this kind of, you can't really see it because of this softness, but if I turn off the softness, you can. That's not off, that's at 0. You can see it just doesn't look good. So we can also just bring up the screen pre-blur. And that actually works a little bit better, but I like to use the softness because now look at this up here. It's showing. Now we can adjust this. We can adjust the shrink, so we can shrink it. But we want to have everything on there because that just doesn't look right. It does help it, but it doesn't look right. So I'm going to set this back to 0. Set this back to 0. Set this back to about 3.5. Cool. So again, we still have that green halo. So we're going to go to the greens. Not the yellows, the greens. Now, you can see the greens is the only one, on this, you have 3 sliders, but on this, you only have, whatever, yeah. But anyway, we're going to want to, first of all, grow this, so it looks sort of like that, so we can literally see it really well. And then, then we can just change around the hue to exactly opposite. And now we're going to try to move these. This is the color range it's looking in, to make it so it doesn't affect my body or yours. And my family just got home, of course. But see how that just totally changed the color? That means we're at the right spot. We change it back to the correct hue. I'm going to desaturate it maybe. I'm just trying to match me. And maybe kind of bring up the lightness. There we go. -100 and 100 looks good. Now we can bring this back to 0. And now we have no green left. It's perfect. I'll look at my camera. So, yeah. That's part 1. I'll see you in part 2.